like a battery. I'm staying charged on my feet. I'm like a factory. Dropping lines like in a
Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome to ZukaTube. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing a movie called The Paper Tigers. This just came out May 7th of this year. I saw it on iTunes on the new and networthy, and I skipped over it at first when a couple other things came out. And I was meaning to go back to it, and I did get to, which is good because I wanted to talk about this movie. I'm going to play the trailer for you guys. Then I'm going to go into like a brief summary of the movie, my general review, pros and cons, and then we'll get into a little bit of spoilers. I got a couple clips too to play as well as the trailer. So I'm excited. Let's get right into the trailer.
1, 2, 3.
Shows them training when they're young. They give you a good bit of montages of them when they're young. Ooh,
Kung
ruthless
fu without
too.
honor. It's just fighting.
Yeah, it's just fighting, dude.
3 tigers, baby.
3 tigers, baby. Oh, they're getting handed to him there.
Dad,
Yeah, buddy.
do you know any kung fu?
I'm retired.
What was the old guy?
That was our teacher. We called him Sifu.
Yep, their teacher Sifu.
Sifu's dead.
He was obviously in way better shape than they are now.
Something's not right.
There was no heart attack.
Do you think the poison fingers is real?
Oh, the poison fingers.
Okay, just say it in English.
Just say it
do
in English, man.
When the
Yeah, as
hands
you can
cross,
see, it's kind of a little bit of a
all will be revealed.
comedy.
Did he hit me?
No, it's just a glance. Just a glance, man.
fine.
You got this. You got this.
Yeah,
It's fine.
the guy that they're fighting right there, he's
Okay,
really
look,
funny.
Sifu
in
could have
this.
set anyone off.
Time catches up to some people. Like you, the great 3 tigers.
We all swore together that we would defend the weak. Out there is a very, very bad man.
Where can we find this guy?
Okay, go.
Go. I know. Hold on.
What are you doing a 3-point turn? Just you it.
3 tigers back again.
Does everything have to be a fight with you?
We might be a disgrace.
Yeah, that
Sifu
guy,
had only
he's
3
Danny who's
disciples.
talking to his wife. He's having trouble like with his
swear
marriage the whole
To be
movie.
loyal to my brothers.
That guy, the big guy, he's
the
kind of
very
out of
day
shape.
I
He
die.
hurt his leg. Damn, look at him kicking that thing off
If you
the roof
guys
like that.
looking for
Oh, it's Chosen
you know,
from Karate
fourth, fifth
Kid.
tiger, I take karate.
They do
You know-
kind of have that funny little, I guess, homage in there. All right, so it's a pretty cool trailer, and it generally sums up the movie even more than the summary, I would say, because when I read the summary, it'll kind of click right away for you, right? Okay, so this is what they have for the movie. They say, 3 kung fu prodigies have grown into washed-up, middle-aged men, now one kick away from pulling their hamstrings. But when their master is murdered, they must juggle their dead-end jobs, dad duties, and old grudges to avenge his death, right? And that's generally the movie. And they also show them talking to that one guy that they're fighting on and off, and he mentions like a disciple and, you know, if the poison fingers are real and all that stuff. Well, that's basically their master gets killed. They end up coming together to, you know, go and avenge his death. And along the way of investigating, they get into all these like ridiculous kind of situations. They get their asses handed to them. And then they find out, you know, about this, you know, disciple that they didn't know of and the potential dangers of the poison fingers. And it's pretty funny, especially when you see them fighting and you see when they're in that like what looks to be a swimming pool. I actually have that little scene, and it's really funny. Let's play that scene. Fantasia. This is where you can get a good idea of the kind of comedy they do in the fight scenes.
Hang on a second. You see,
Baymo, that's what they call a challenge.
Seniors usually go last in Baymo. You know, the whole seniority thing.
Bum, 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 bum. Look at him pulling up his pants and stuff. He's all sloppy. See how he takes it to him. They do a good job with the fight scenes and showing that these guys are really inexperienced at this point, you know. Well, they're experienced, but like they're obviously failing in their old age because they haven't trained. So yeah, so it's some pretty funny stuff, I would say, overall, and they have like a lot of goofy banter throughout it, as well as like really serious emotional moments. Like the one guy that they're fighting, and they show a couple clips of, like doing some funny stuff. He's definitely I would say one of the I would say he doesn't steal the show, but he has some of the more funny bits of the movie. Like here's a good clip here.
No, not really.
How about your Sifu took on another disciple?
We're his only sworn disciples. I was with him last.
Yeah, 15
Yes,
years
apart
ago.
from the trailer.
Plenty of time to raise somebody new.
Who is it then?
Beimo?
There it is. There it is.
Yep,
Jim calls it out right away. He wants to fight.
What? When the hands cross, all will be revealed.
Like, listen to that.
Best of three.
He sounds ridiculous.
I'll make it easy. 3 matches, but only one of you has to beat me.
They just start laughing at him. He's like, I guess, a childhood rival growing up that got his ass whooped by them a lot.
Why'd you get so cocky, man? I like it. What do you say, Dai Hing?
What if we lose?
Look at him like gazing up.
Yat Sang Bat Yang Yi Fu.
Okay, just say it in English.
Just say it
do
in English, man, in case we can't understand.
The fiercest tigers can never share the same mountain.
Dude, I think that shit's ridiculous. He does so much of
Get
this.
the hell out of my school.
Yeah, so the movie's pretty funny, and right away, like, I got this weird feeling and reminder of this movie when I was a kid called The Three Ninjas. Anybody remember that movie? Well, man, it almost feels like an odd, weird multiverse sequel of that, for sure. It's definitely funny throughout the whole movie, as well as they got a lot of serious moments and emotional moments where they touch base on some of the down-to-earth, you know, problems like they mentioned in the summary, like their dad duties and stuff like that, right? And overall, like they do have issues with each other in this movie, and they do come together for one common cause, and right away they start to kind of mend, you know, some of those issues. They don't go into it too deep, but they do give you a general aspect of what's going on and a little backstory with each character without, you know, I guess not spoiling like everything right away, but as well as like not boring you, which is narrative, right? So it's definitely fun to watch. The fight scenes are really good. Like I said, they do a good job of showing that these guys are almost inexperienced at this point. Like they were prodigies, but they're so like untrained, out of shape, the whole nine, that they definitely just kind of fumble all the time and they get their asses whooped. Now, with that being said, I would say that this movie is definitely a fun watch. I would give this movie like a 7.5 out of 10 for sure. It's fun, it's enjoyable, it's got some like kind of touching, sappy moments. You know, if you're into any of that stuff, it's all around just an easygoing movie. They do have like some corny little things here and there, like they have a couple little weird like racy tropes and stuff like that in it, and some real cheesy like sappy moments, but other than that, the movie is generally good. Now I'm gonna get into the spoiler section real quick. Spoilers. So spoiled. All right. So, after they basically find out about who this the hidden disciple is that potentially does the poison fingers. I'm going to call them poison fingers because they really give you no information about this guy. You know, they find a guy by their sense of fucking just hearing for how hard people hit the bag at this gym when they're investigating. And then all of a sudden they just know it's the guy and they get into like a little, you know, private eye investigation where they're driving that minivan you see in the trailer after the guy, and then they find him and they get a challenge from him to fight, and basically they run away from the challenge. But number 2, Hing, the kind of bigger guy that has the knee brace in it, he goes off to fight him on his own. He gets his fucking ass handed to him. He's like nearly dead type deal. They go to fight him and they get challenged on the rooftop or whatever to fight this guy. And Danny goes up to fight him. It's like a 3-round deal. And he, you know, obviously wins, right? But the whole deal is they don't give you any backstory to this villain character. They give you all this time with all this backstory for the 3 main characters. You know, they give you a decent amount of backstory about their master. They even give you a little bit about a backstory and footage and a montage and everything for the one rival guy, Carter, that they show that's really funny and that whole deal. You know, they even got stuff for his Sifu or master. But they don't give you anything for this guy except for the fact that after these 3 kind of left and did their own thing, it kind of messed up their master to the point where he took on just anybody, and he was a different kind of guy. And this guy was a bad kid that he took in, trained him, and then the bad kid killed him for whatever reason. I guess once he learned like the final move that at that point he didn't need him anymore, so he killed him. Or basically was just a hitman for hire and happened to have to kill his own Sifu. That's a little like weird about it, but otherwise the whole movie generally was decent. The fighting was decent. You know, everything that happened at the end, you know, you kind of obviously knew he was going to get his focus, I guess you would say, back to the point where he could see things in like slow motion and fight. That whole thing played out pretty well. I liked it. The fight scenes got better and better, obviously, as they got more and more back in the rhythm of fighting, so they did a good job with that. The dialogue, like I said, is really funny. Definitely check this out. 7.5 out of 10. The Paper Tigers. ZukaTube out.
Feel like they tracking me. Yo, let me get on one. Nah, go get your tracks up. Homie, can I steal some? Homie, you can't stack up. My brother, can you shout me? You're barking up the wrong tree. My dog, why do you doubt me? Cause you can't do shit without me.
Real like the radio and never play it, but that's cool. The enemy's supposed to hate it.